Okay, most of this stuff again is review. You probably know all of it. An angle is two rays with a common endpoint. It's like if you got a ray going like that and then another ray going like that.
Oh, gracious.
Okay? The sides of the angle, hopefully everyone could figure that out. Okay? Sides are just the two rays. Vertex. It's the point. Okay? It's where the rays meet. So if you've got an angle like this, the vertex is which point?
B.
B. Now, when you name these angles, just like when you name a line, you got to put a symbol. This angle right here could be named three ways. It could be angle ABC, it could be angle CBA, or the easiest, B.
Oh, B.
You can't say angle BAC because BAC means start at B, go to A, and then to C. Okay? That's a different angle.
Thanks, Kylie.
So just like if you don't put the angle sign, if you just name this angle and went ABC, what does that represent? Three letters together like that.
The first letter's off.
Anytime you see three letters listed, then you're talking about
Order.
a plane. Three letters is a plane. That's why when you're talking about an angle, you got to put the angle symbol. If you just put angle B, if you just put B, what does that represent?
Point.
A point. That's why you got to put the angle symbol in front of it. Okay?
The vertexes would be.
Yep, vertex is where they meet. It's the point. Okay, the measure of the angles, that's just how many degrees it is. If you ever see something like this, M, angle B, that means find the measure of angle B. That's what the little m is. So that looks like about a 30, so I'll just say that that's a 30-degree angle. The measure of angle B is 30. Interior and exterior, I hope everyone could figure that out too.
Yeah.
Interior is inside, exterior is outside. Okay, these has been since 8th grade, since you've probably done these. Acute, right, obtuse, straight. An acute angle is
Not less than 90 degrees.
less than 90. A right angle is 90.
Oh, nice.
An obtuse angle? Greater than 90. And it's actually also less than 180. But a straight angle? 180. A straight angle is a line. It's 180 degrees. So, in order to show a right angle, do you remember what they put in the picture?
A square.
A little box, yep. That means, if you see that, that means it's a 90-degree angle, which is also, what's the word for that? If they form a 90, the two lines are perpendicular, yep. Now, adjacent is going to be used, again, throughout this whole book. Does anyone remember from 8th grade what the word adjacent means?
Next to each other.
Next to each other. So, adjacent means next to. What it is they share a side and a vertex. So they got to share both of those things, because an example of two angles that are not adjacent would be like this. Angle 1 and angle 2, they do share a side, but they don't share the vertex. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So adjacent angles would be like this. Angle 1 and 2 are adjacent because they share this side and they share that vertex. If I put another angle in there, 1 and 3 are adjacent because they share a side and a vertex. 2 and 3 are not, because they don't share a side.
The share vertex.
Oh, yeah.
But they share a vertex, but they're not adjacent, because they're not next to each other. Naming angles. There's this angle right here, which you could call JLK, angle JLK, or you could say it backwards, KLJ. Part of your assignment today is just naming angles like that, getting used to naming them. This angle is angle KLM, or backwards MLK, Martin Luther King. What is the third angle in there?
JLM.
The straight angle, yep, all the way from there to there. Angle JLM or MLJ.
What whisper sweet nothings to the person
Okay.
sitting more alone?
Now, if it's just a single angle like this, the easiest way to name them is just name the vertex. Angle K, angle R. They do want two names, so that's one easy way. The other one would be angle JKL, or you could have did angle LKJ. Angle PRQ, or angle QRP.
Lovely.
The time you can't use just one letter is like this.
Because it's two angles.
Right. If I told you to look at angle B, you wouldn't know which one to look at. Because there's actually three angles at B. There's one here, and then there's the entire one. So if there's more than one angle at a vertex, you have to use all three letters. So if I'm talking about this angle, I would have to call it angle ABD. Or I could have did it backwards, DBA. But just remember on angles, the vertex always has to be the middle letter. Okay? Protractors. We don't do a whole lot of measuring with the protractors. But remember, what you do is you put the vertex on the crosshairs right there.
Oh, I hate this.
Line it up here, and then you can go up until the line goes through here. Now there's two possible numbers. This goes through, kind of blurry, hard to see. It looks like one. I'm gonna say 113. Or on this side, it's 67.
It's 115.
It's 113 because it's obtuse. It's over a 90. And the way you can tell it is, since this is the bottom of my angle, I gotta start at the 0 and count up from there. I don't wanna start at 180 and go backwards. Okay? When we get to the protractors, we'll spend a little more time on it. Now, this angle addition postulate, it's just like the segment addition I showed you yesterday. If you take one angle, angle ABC, and add on another angle, angle CBD, what's it going to equal?
ABD.
It's going to equal angle
ABD.
ABD. If you take two small angles and put them together, it makes a bigger angle. That's what the angle addition postulate. Just like yesterday when we did the segment addition. If you take one segment and add another segment, you get a longer segment. Okay, here we've got two fixed spray heads that spray water in a fan shape. The angle that determines each of the fan shapes is 120 degrees. The shaded area shows where they overlap. So one of the spray head is spraying from there to there. The other one is spraying from here to here.
I got you, man.
So what would the measure of angle 2 be?
90.
Yo, I got you. I got you.
Why do you know it's 90?
Because look at the, you can put a box in it, or 120 and minus
It says it sprays in 120 degrees, right? And from here to here, it's 30, which means from here to here would have to be 90.
That's not 90
Okay.
degrees.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can't always go by how the pictures look. They're not always drawn to scale. Obviously, you can see that's less than 90.
Yeah. It's like a
So they're not always drawn to scale. You can't go by how they look.
line.
Okay? Now, we're not gonna measure these, but we are gonna classify angles as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. So angle AFD, AFD, that is obtuse. Angle AFE, AFE, acute. Angle BFD, straight, BFD, and BFC. That's a 90 right there. So that's a right. So these are just like those easy segment ones yesterday. Find the measure, remember that's what the M means, find the actual measure of angle ABC. 130. If that's 50 and that's 80, then it adds up to 130. Measure of angle HLK. 60. Because it shows you that's a 90 there, so 90, take away the 30, leaves you with 60.